The reason why I was calling that the brick wall is because you see every single time when we hit this level, we end up moving to the downside, right? Every single time. And the last time we was playing here, we ended up just moving slowly down to the level of 630, right? That was a 9% drop. And that was a correction drop. And that was a 10% drop. Let's just call it 10%. That was a correction drop. And that was due to the war in Iran, right? The Strait of Hormuz being stopped up. All that stock caused the market to start moving to the downside. And then as soon as Trump said we get a ceasefire and they're no longer doing it, we get this action, right? 10% already came back around, right? All the gains that were lost already came back. And I want to just emphasize again, like, you can't time the market. We don't know what they're doing on the other side. Even Mel and I, right? Flask and I, we research, we look at the news, we stay on top of this, but you never know what they're gonna do, right? You don't know whether or not they're gonna cause the market to keep going down when it hits that low, but you know that you got to take advantage when it hits that low so you can benefit if it comes up going high, right? Even right now, you don't know whether or not the market moves in cycles. So even though it's at 700, I don't think this is a lot of strength. I think this is just a moment where Trump said the ceasefire was happening, and then now in the blockade, right? And then now we're just reacting good news off of that. We haven't had good news in quite a bit. And that just goes with the cycle, right? You end up having the bad news and the market moving down to the downside, and now you get the market and the good news moving up to the upside. And then now that we hit 700, these are new all-time highs.
And now we're slow keep coming down, which is crazy.
Right. And the thing about all-time highs is anytime market moves up, it needs a breather to pull back. And anytime you get to all-time highs, this is why we never say buy at all-time highs, because the market is always bound to pull back. So now we just look to see if we stay above this level. Do we stay above this level of 694? Because now what was once resistance could possibly become the new support, right? On the 1 hour time frame, I could sit here and say we ended up going above this level. Like today for my traders, if you was looking, right, we ended up breaking this level. And when it comes down to looking at support and resistance, what confirms always whether or not we are moving in a certain direction is a retest, right? So say you were trading today and you see a break at 694, and then you see the retest at 9:30 a.m. of 694, what was once resistance became support. And when we didn't get below that level and we held above it, because as soon as we got to 694 again, we ended up moving right back up to the upside. And now look where we're at, right? 700, right? So I could sit here and say, I'm looking for the same thing on the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, if we get a retest and holding above this 700, that could possibly indicate to me that we're going to continue moving up to the upside, right? And if not, I wouldn't be surprised if we end up moving down to the downside again, end up doing some more action. But at the same time, you don't know. So do your technical analysis, look at the charts, build your plan around buying these quality companies. Last week, we ended up taking two stocks and looking at them. We was looking at Meta last week. So even Meta, right? We're at the price of 673. They're at a prime resistance too, right? This is actually what I have marked out right here. So right here, we're at the whole market right now. You got Meta. Even I saw Amazon is moving up crazy. Everything, nice. Right? Everything. So at this point, everything's up in the market. We were just talking about everything being down. So now everything's up. So now we want to really see. We really want to see whether or not we hold up, right? That's all we're looking for, right? On Meta, SPY, NVIDIA, all these things. Because at the end of the day, we not stupid. And if you've been following us, you not stupid. You see what's going around in the economy, right? And Trump just they was going back and forth, having negative talks, and one day they was going to stop the war, and then the next thing you know it, Iran saying they wasn't going to stop the war, and the next thing you know it, a ceasefire happens, and magically the market's up. Hey man, You've been here long enough to know what's going on. So just buy these assets, make a plan, and hold for the long term, man. Even Robinhood, I just seen the price of Robinhood, $87 fucking dollars. Excuse my French, but this is why I really am emphasizing this, because they're playing right in front of our face. For the people who are still scared to buy quality assets at a low, we've been talking about this all year. This is a prime example. I was talking about Robinhood. I got receipts in the Discord. I was telling you guys it's a good buy around the $70 range, $75 range. Just in weeks time. Let me remove this right here. This was let's go here. And let's just go here, right? Robinhood was stuck in a range, right? Daily time frame. So since, let's say, February 11th, Robinhood was stuck in the range between, let's do like 85 and 63, right? $20 range. If you would have bought as low as 63, or if you would have bought at 75, you would have been able to take advantage of a quality asset. Because also, let's look at where we even came from, right? So your potential gains from the low is 135%, right? And if we know this is a quality asset, you're gonna buy at the dip, you're gonna buy at the low. They were stuck in this range. If you would have bought in this range, they were stuck in this range at the low, and then they just break out. Like, that's just how it happens. You can't time the market. So anybody trying to sit there and tell you, you're gonna be able to perfectly time the market, right? If anybody sitting there and telling you, what else? It may not be a good time to buy. It may not be a good time to sell. There's never a perfect time, man. All I'm trying to emphasize is there's no perfect time. Get in, find you a plan of which asset, whether it's Bitcoin, right? Whether it's XRP that Flash talked about, whether it's Flare, whether it's SPY, whether it's Meta, whether it's Amazon, whether it's Robinhood. There's so many companies on the list, and you still ain't took advantage of one of them. If you have, I really give you a pat on the back. But if you are still scared, remove that fear, man. Remove the fear, because there's no reason, right? The market will go down, and now all-time highs. Once again, you got money just sitting there, ain't growing for you. But if you would be able to take advantage at the lows, right, and buy quality assets at a low, you're already up 11% on your money if you would have bought at the low in the S&P 500. With Meta, if you would have bought at the lows like I did, like I bought over here like 525. Let's do 540, because that's really where I bought. And now we're at 678. That's a 26% gain in the last week. God damn it! Like, that's just about buying quality assets at the low, right? Even Bitcoin right now, the people who see the Bitcoins less than 100,000, less than 150,000, whatever the case may be, and you scared to buy, you guys got to think in the longer horizon, man. The longer horizon. So that's all I got, man. That's all I got so far. We could keep it going. Let me see. Apple's looking. Everything's looking great, and you can't take advantage of these moments unless you're buying at the low moments, right? And I'm saying, I'm gonna finish it with this. I don't think that this is the only drop that we're gonna have this year, right? I don't think this is the only drop that we're gonna have, especially going into 2027, right? So you seen what happened the first time. When we see that bigger drop, like I've been talking about, that 18% drop, that 30% drop. The 18% drop is now 22%, right? That 30% drop is now 45%, right? And if they keep saying that we're in a bubble, and they keep saying that, we got recession coming up, they keep saying that all these different things, we know that what the economy is looking like. At some point, you get a pop, right? And that's not to be afraid. That's just to be prepared, man. So that's all I got. That's all I got for this moment, man. You got anything you want to touch on?
Yeah, let's look at the commodities market. See what we're talking about with the gold and the silver.
Yes, sir. Now we're going to break down the gold and the silver.
Let's see. Brother already got the resistance and the support levels.
I think that was from you.
Talking about. Yeah.